Jig fishing is a true art form that many have tried to master and failed. Some failed to boredom, and others to frustration. Whether it's failure to produce bites or constantly getting hung, jig fishing can be enraging when first starting out, but is a valuable tool to have in the back pocket for when the bite gets hard. A task that becomes increasingly harder when adding current to the mixture. So today we're going to take an in-depth dive on how to fish jigs in moving water. This is 2 days on the water dedicated to the purposes of teaching you the ins and outs of this technique. From fishing live crawls, to crazy wildlife encounters,
the biggest snapping turtle I've ever seen in my life,
to tidal-like changes in the river system. All of that and more on this episode of Tackle Jocks.
Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Tackle Jocks. Today we're at the beautiful South Holston River, one of my favorite fisheries on the planet, and we're going to be testing out again, running it through the mill, through the grinder one more time. The old cheaper crawl, the Timu knockoff of the Mega Bass Sleeper Crawl. Was highly impressed with the first run of these, and if you guys haven't seen the first testing of these, then be sure to check out that video right up here. But this should be the perfect profile for these smallies out here today. We've got some clouds, and it's a start for the strawberry moon cycle. Should be a killer time to be bass fishing. We're going to be doing the Eastman haul today. As you can see, we're loading in here at Reedy Creek. That's right upstream from the Riverfront restaurant, which we'll be trying out tonight with some more of these, but they're going to be glow in the dark. This is more of a matte kind of coloration, like a pale brown and orange coloration. Perfect for matching these molting crawdads, but we're going to be trying out the glow in the dark ones at the Riverfront restaurant when it gets a little bit darker this evening. Just wanted to try this spot out. Usually there's a little largemouth, sometimes a smallie. Usually the largemouth will stack up in this creek mouth of Reedy Creek. You can take that to the bank, boys. If you guys want to find river largies in this river, this is one of the best, if not the best, location to search for them. It's kind of shallow right now, but we're going to get some more current coming in a little bit later today, and that's actually why we're going and doing the Eastman haul. It's going to be really easy to get up there, and then on the way back it'll be a nice easy float. Won't have to do much paddling. Okay, old mallard duck is laughing at me today. Yeah, the float on the way back should be a lot easier. Won't take nearly as much time as it normally does, and with it being low the past few days, actually it's been low for a good period of time now, almost a week and a half. They're going to be starving for current, and that extra bit of water flow, extra bit of water dumping out of Patrick Henry should make it the ticket for fishing this right here. And last but not least, we have what might actually be my favorite lure of 2024 so far, and that'd be this lure right here. This is the Demiki Vault half-ounce version. As you can see, this is the gold one right here, and the reason I like this so much is I can just cast it for days. I can throw it out way further than all my other lures, and then you do this right here, just ripping it above the grass beds and burning it back. Really, we won't be using it too much on the way up, because as you can see, we've been collecting grass pretty much every cast, especially with the water levels being this low. So I say that's enough talking. Let's get out on the water, boys, and catch us some South Holston smallies. Damn, wish I could get through the water like that.
Now I'm sure some of you guys are thinking, Logan, what does a blade bait have to do with fishing a jig? And the answer is surprisingly a decent amount. In fact, if you use this technique in deep enough water, it's referred to as vertical jigging. You literally just yo-yo this lure until you get a bite. Vertically jigging it, as the name implies, straight up and down. So for anyone that's new to fishing this kind of technique, I think this is a really good starting point.
Yep. Oh, he came off. Hey, that's the first bite of the day, though. we'll take that.
Take a blade bait or rattle bait out to where you want to learn how to jig fish, begin ripping it above grass lines, and constantly retrieving. Then, you apply this practice to jig fishing and just slow it all down.
Sweetheart, we got you. Oh, she just spit the lure too. Just spit the vault into the net. Yeah, bite down on my finger, please. Oh yeah, she's clamping down. Look at that, boys. It is a beautiful smallmouth bass. Very green and bronze coloration. Not a lot of stripes in this one, but still all around gorgeous. This one's not going lap hog status, but I'd say he's probably 16 3/4. Just a beautiful fish. We'll see you later, buddy. Oh, no way. Look at that, boys. Micro smallie. Oh, I gotta be really careful. Yeah, that had to be the smallest bass I've ever caught out of here. Yep. Oh, I think this is a catfish. Yep, I'm almost positive this is a catfish. It is a... oh, it's a big old sucker. Yeah, buddy, look at that. Foul hooked a sucker. But that is a massive sucker. You can't tell me there aren't muskie in this river system, because look at these suckers, man. I mean, this is our primary food source. Let's go ahead and release this guy. Freaking tank, man. See you later, buddy. Yep. No, he came off. Wait. We still got him. I thought he came off. I thought he did. We still got him somehow. Oh. What's up?
How hard is it to paddle up through there?
It depends on how bad they're releasing water, really.
Well, I mean, they ain't pushing no water right now. Is it pretty tough?
When it's in, like, I'd say the 1600, if you watch the TVA app for the water releases, 1600 and below is really easy, but it's a little more difficult when it's like this. It doesn't look bad, but trust me, here's some more.
When he's been pushing this much out, it's harder.
Yeah, when it's like this. Yeah, anything above this water level is pretty tough to get up here, and you have to time it right or you'll get stuck down here at this waterfall.
Waterfall down there?
Yeah, right here. You see where those rocks are exposed down there?
Yeah.
That's where it's at, right there.
After a brief discussion with this Eastman worker, and a quick reminder to always be cognizant of the water levels and incoming current through the TVA app, we moved a little further upstream and decided to start fishing these bridge columns.
Just let me sit in a good place. There we go, we finally got this largie. Look there. I saw this largie chasing it a few times. Wow, might be a day of largie fishing right here, boys. Look at that. Beautiful. Melanistic patterns on this largemouth. I mean, not a huge bass, but hey, we're on the board with this largemouth. A beautiful South Holston taco. Look at that. Just absolutely gorgeous fish. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh, you didn't appreciate us? Damn.
Bridge columns are a great starting off point if you're just learning how to jig fish. Fish are usually stacked behind these because it allows them to get out of the current and gives them some structure and security, a place of sanctuary, if you will. And usually you can find the forage of bass in these same locations.
No.
Crawdads aren't great swimmers, so they're going to look for any slack current they can find, making it the perfect place to be throwing a jig. And slack current is hard to come by at this time of day. As you can see, the water levels have increased by almost a foot, and that's been over a span of a matter of an hour. They can go from about 1,000 cubic feet per second to almost 4K in a matter of an hour, but it feels like a blink of an eye. So that's why you should always be aware and check the TVA app when you head out and try to float this river, especially when you're doing this section, the Eastman Haul. But with the water levels being like this, it pushes more smallies up onto the bank underneath the trees. Trees and shade lines are key, and as you can see, you're not going to want to spend too much time casting. Cast your jig into a preferable area, whether that be slack current or shade line, and if you haven't gotten a bite within about 5 seconds or so, it's time to reel it back in and give it another cast. Really, you're casting your jig out, letting it hit the water, sink to the bottom, sit there for a couple seconds, and then reeling it back in. This is one reason why I like jig fishing in the river. You got to see everything in the river as a reaction bait, as a moving bait, because the current is going to be carrying it, moving it along. So even a slower presentation of this moving style can trigger reaction bites out of smallies that normally wouldn't.
Stout fish right there, absolutely gorgeous. It's got the cheaper crawl in its mouth, perfect hook set, great bite too. I mean, just a little tick, absolutely beautiful. All right, let's get a measure on this bass. This bass is 19 inches on the dot, actually. Wow, look at that. That's a beautiful dark bass right there, absolutely gorgeous. That's the fish we were after. Appreciate you, sweetheart.
Storm drains are another good spot to start if you're clueless on where to throw your jig. This inflow of cool and sometimes hot water allows for fresh oxygen to come into the waterway. Not only that, but sometimes the runoff will bring the smallies and other bass food. So naturally, they'll sit nose in the current and just sit and wait for food to come to them.
There's a smallie.
Now, I haven't had much luck off of this particular storm drain, but today it actually paid off.
Ape now. He's going ape. Oh, he just spit it. He just spit it, man. Hey, buddy. Whew. There you go, boys. Look at that. Beautiful smallmouth bass right there. Absolutely gorgeous. Alrighty. This taco has been documented. Let's go ahead and send him back. Appreciate you, buddy.
But with the current level being so strong and the water level so high, we made it back to the launch ramp in hardly no time, bringing us to a close on our first day and leading us into the next one.
Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of Tackle Jocks. This is day 2 of the Crawdad fishing mission here on the South Holston River, and today we're going to be going in depth on how to fish jigs. One of the easiest ways to learn how to fish a jig, if you don't know how, if you're brand new to fishing this technique, is to get out here in the river, go wading, find the right spot, and catch some live crawdads. As you can see, we got the bucket ready to go. We have ourselves a spinning combo right here that we have set up just for the live crawdads. Just put fresh line on it too. So we're gonna build on yesterday and start with the sleeper crawl from Temu. This is the cheaper crawl. This is the one that glows in the dark too. We're gonna keep it on today. Very visible in this water. The water won't be very murky today, so it might be a mistake to have it, but that's okay. We're gonna start with this, switch to the crawdads, and then switch back to this after we've got a good understanding of how to fish this. So, lads and gents, enough talking. Let's go ahead and get in the water. So, as always, we're gonna stick with our routine, floating down the North Fork side here, as you guys can see. Normally, people would stop and fish this area right here, especially right here. We're gonna bypass all of this right here, go down the North Fork side and come back up around Phipps Island. This last island is called Phipps Island. We're gonna come do a lap with this jig right here, with this cheaper crawl. What are you hung on? That's the problem with casting out here. While you're floating down, if you happen to get hung, then all of this was for naught. This entire game plan, actually a waste of time. All right, let's get back over here. So, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, we're gonna bypass all of this right here and come back up and fish it upstream. That way we get the most natural presentation. I cannot stress enough, and I'm sure if you guys have seen other videos of mine fishing this section of the river, then you've heard me say it before. It is imperative when coming to fish a river or any kind of current, cast upstream and work it back downstream. Gives you the most natural presentation possible. And that goes for jigs, as well as topwater, moving baits, anything. Holy shit. Look at this snapping turtle. This has got to be the snapper. Look at how big this guy is. Don't you come up here on me. Dude, that is the biggest snapping turtle I've ever seen in my life. I have not seen him in this location though, so that's kind of interesting. I just want a picture of you, buddy, so everyone believes me. I've been telling people about this snapping turtle right here, and no one has believed how big this thing is. Oh, I just don't want to piss him off. Have him run up at me. Adios, muchacho. You freaking mondo. Seven river otters. That is actually crazy. That's the most I've ever seen out here. And now we've come to one of my favorite parts of the trip, at least in this section of the river, and that is to actually get out here in this water and start wading. We're gonna be throwing this first. We're gonna do a lap with the jig slash sleeper crawl slash cheaper crawl, and then we're gonna float down on the opposite bank over there and go down to where this bridge column is to catch us some live crawdads. But first we need a control, so this is gonna be our control. So let's set the bar with this cheaper crawl right here. Got the yak tethered off. It's just gonna be chilling behind us, and we're gonna be able to go out here and just start casting out into the open water behind all these shoals. But this is why it's so important to come down and do it this way, so you can be casting upstream behind all these U's right here, and then you can work it down slowly. If you don't do this, your jig's just gonna end up rising to the top of the water column. I mean, you'll see eventually once I get up here in a little bit stronger current. That's no bueno. You want jigs on the bottom. Okay, so unfortunately, we lost the glow-in-the-dark cheaper crawl. We have tied on this new color, this very natural orange and brown color, and this is what we are trying to resemble. Look at that coloration. So there is the cheaper crawl, and you put it next to this right here, this bigger crawdad. As you can see, it's actually a smaller profile than this crawdad right here. This is a mondo crawl. But yes, this should mimic a freshly molted crawdad in this river system, because you get a lot of browns, oranges, and red. And of course, you guys will see that whenever we catch some live crawls and put them on the circle hook. But for now, let's go ahead and cast this sucker out. Yep, that's a smallie. Oh wow, that's a good one. Oh, he's behind a rock. Oh, we got him off, we got him off, we got him off, thank God. Stay down, stay down. Stay down and get out of the current. Come here. You stop doing that. I mean, he's literally running this in inches of water. This is what I was just wading through. Oh, stop jumping. Oh, there we go. Yeah, what a little bruiser. Yeah, look at that, boys. Quality river smallmouth right there. That one's easily over 2 pounds. Probably like right at 2.5, like a 17-incher or so. Absolutely gorgeous. And look at that take. It does not get much better than that when it comes to jig fishing. There we go. Just so you guys don't think I'm crazy, you can fish jigs in inches of water and fast moving current. Look at that. That's beautiful. Just out of curiosity, let's see what she goes. Oh yeah, look at that. On the money. I mean, actually 17 inches on the dot. Not quite lap hog status, but we're gonna let him go and let him grow so he can and will eventually turn into my 5-pounder. Just an absolutely gorgeous fish though. Beautiful start to the day. Yeah, you ready, buddy? Oh, look at that. I love smallmouth, man. See you later, big guy.
I'm sure you guys have already noticed this slight detail by now, but in case you haven't, let me go ahead and point it out. When fishing water with these circumstances, such as shallow, low, and fast moving, you want to make sure that you keep your rod tip angle above 45 degrees. This is going to give you the best sensitivity for knowing when you get a bite, when you're hitting rocks, etc., etc. And when the water is moving like this, you're going to want to constantly retrieve, almost just hopping it along the bottom. And when you're in inches of water like this, hopping it along the bottom is putting it right in front of their face. And sometimes they'll end up surprising you by hiding right behind a rock just like this one.
Yo, this fish literally ate it right in front of me. That is crazy, dude. That is insane. Oh yeah, this one's a lap hog. He's very skinny, but he will be a lap hog. Oh, he's got some needle teeth too. Look at that, boys. That's a beautiful bass right there. I mean, absolutely just slammed it right in front of me too. Let's get a measurement on this fish. Look at that, absolutely gorgeous bass though. Very dark. Okay, this one is 18 and a half. Nice. Got some lap hog picks. Just a beautiful bass. Oh, let's get turned around. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Just a beautiful fish. Let's make sure he's revived. I'm pretty sure he's good. I'm just gonna make sure. Oh yeah, that's it, baby. See you later, buddy. Look at that. It's insane to me how fish like that can be in inches of water and just zoom through it. While we're floating down, we're going to be casting at the trees on the bank. This is a nice little sandbar over here. Threw it onto the bank. Oh yeah. Wow, that was literally first cast. Probably gave him too long. That was a lot of slack right there. Okay, so now we're gonna go wading around and we're gonna go looking for our live bait. This is really gonna double as a live bait tutorial as well. We have this beautiful Nesquik container that we found on the bank, and we're gonna be using this to catch our crawdads. We're just gonna pick up rocks and scare them into it, cup it off, and then pour it out. It works a little better if you have a clear cup, that way you can see when they actually make it in here. But really, you just want something with a wide mouth. Gives them plenty of room to swim into, but still small enough to where you can cup it with your hand right behind you. So we're gonna try to get about 20 crawdads or so. I think we can pull that off, but let's go ahead and see if we can catch them, boys. Look at that. I mean, that's literally the perfect size and pretty much the exact same profile. In fact, after we get a good size and a decent amount of these little crawdads, I'll show you how close in resemblance this jig presentation is to these actual crawdads. But until then, let's go grab some more. Actually doing better, just catching them with my bare hands than using this cup. I thought the container would come in handy. But I will say, when catching these beforehand, as I have before, if you guys haven't seen that video, then be sure to check it out right here. If you use a cup, just like a clear plastic cup, after you drink your sweet tea, Baja Blast from Taco Bell, either way, it's pretty easy to spook these guys into them from the front, because as you can see, they get very defensive, and then they'll just shoot backwards into the cup. Won't even realize they're caught. There you go, you got yourself a crawdad. All right, now I'll show you guys what I'm doing. A little bit more up close and personal. Ooh, let's grab our container, just so we can hold them on the way back. That does make it a little easier, make sure I don't get pinched. What I'm doing is just coming out, wading out into a few inches of water, and then you just start picking up rocks. Well, I think I saw one right here. The bigger and flatter, the better. There's just like a little roof over their head. A few little guys in here. Preferably not a rock this size, because it's a little too big to lift. Get one that's about the medium range, but flat. Little tiny guy. Oh, I missed them. They just sit still, even in this shallow, clear water where you think it'd be easy to catch them. They are fast. They can bolt underneath a rock without you even seeing them. See, even if you find them, even if you see them, it's not a guarantee that you're gonna catch one. Still gotta go through the process. So it does take time, I will say that, but there's no better river bait than what we're collecting right here. And we already have 3 solid ones in here. There is a molt right here though. I don't know what you guys can see that. Little blue and orange legs. That's what these crawdads are gonna do. They're gonna get up under these rocks and molt, and they're just gonna sit here. They're also nocturnal, so this time of day, they definitely should be hiding underneath these rocks. That's another reason that smallmouth love low light levels, is because their food items are nocturnal. No juice, no juice. Oh, that one is really soft and big. Number 4. is the perfect size right there. Found the juice up here, boys. Might have to move the bucket a little closer. This is number 5. Oh yeah, it's filling up quick.
Going out and doing this is something that you can easily do at any creek or river that you live around, but I especially recommend it if you're planning on fishing the river in the future. Coming out here and picking up rocks can give you vital information on the forage that the bass are eating.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
And in this case, the only thing that I was able to find was crawdads, which is why jig fishing is such an effective tactic in this section of the river.
Oh my goodness. This guy is freaking massive. I think I saw one of his claws over here actually. Look at how big these claws are. This is a freaking lobster. I don't even know what will eat him. We'll find out. And now, the moment of truth. We're gonna hook up these crawdads. So here's how you do it. I just flip them over on their back so they expose the bottom of the tail, and then you take your circle hook. I think this is a 3-aught. I would go with 2-aught, 3-aught, somewhere in there. You don't want too big, but not too small. You just hook them through the base of the tail, and that'll limit their mobility. And when you retrieve them, that's the direction they swim anyway. So it'll give them the most natural presentation. Sometimes you can get a bite just on the retrieve. Start out at this bridge. There's a ton of crawdads here, so you know smallies will come up here looking for them. So you notice I'm keeping my rod at a 45-degree angle or higher sometimes, and I'm just constantly retrieving, and this is how you work your jig. It's literally going to feel the exact same way. Every once in a while you'll feel the crawdad do a little run, feel like a little bluegill's pecking it, just like that, and he's just trying to swim back down to the bottom. But you constantly retrieve them, so you can't get into all this guck and rocks out here. He won't hang you up. Let's throw him to the left a little more there. Well, I say that and then get hung instantly. All right, so this is why it's so important to constantly retrieve your crawdads. Oh, okay, I didn't realize it was this shallow, first off, but regardless, it will bolt underneath rocks and get you hung up so fast if you're not paying attention. So you gotta constantly retrieve these. Let's chuck them back out there. You thought you figured it out, buddy. All right, guys, there's the setup. We've actually added a split shot, probably about 4 or 5 inches right above the crawdad. Just give it a little more weight. He's actually kind of hard to feel in this current. That should make him a little easier to cast as well. Oh yeah, look at that. Yep. Oh, he spit it, and we lost the crawdad. Should have given him another extra second. Yep, that was the money. We just needed to put a split shot on it. All right, guys, we're putting on a new crawdad. That is the only downside to fishing these crawdads. They tend to die out pretty fast, especially in this current. Crawdads are not great swimmers, which is why smallmouth love them. Smallmouth are so fast and equipped for the water. Crawdads, they're just made to sit under rocks. Wow, that was a good take. That was a really good take. I think he felt me though. Look at that, guys. I didn't even see these beautiful doe just sitting here in front of me. These are this river's residential waders, and they're just coming out here eating the grass on this island. We're going ham on this grass up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we're down to 4 crawdads. So we're gonna go over here in this slack current right over here on the bank and see if we can catch some more. This should be the perfect habitat for some crawdads. Forgot to mention, when you're looking for these, you're gonna find slower moving water as well as these big flat rocks. Like I said earlier, crawdads are very poor swimmers, so they're gonna be in the slower moving water. Usually these shallow flats are good for producing some quality size live bait. Just gotta get out here and start turning rocks. Nice, there you go. Perfect size crawdad for live bait. drop them in. There you go, boys. Here's another one you can add to the list. How many are we at now? 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure, that's more than that. 1, 2, 3. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Let's get a few more, and then we'll start fishing again. Look at this lobster. That is way too big for live bait, but you can see this one has a little more blue in its claws. Very pale coloration on the bottom. This is what they're eating in here, boys. I mean, if they're getting this big, you can see why they're fat. We'll go ahead and let this one go, though. See you later, buddy. Alrighty. There's a little quality crawdad. Let's go ahead and hook them up.
We've covered everything from profiles to presentation to the speed of your retrieve and even the angle of your rod tip. But one thing we've yet to cover might just be the most important, and that's the hook set. Learning to set the hook on a jig fish can be frustrating, especially when you're used to jacking jaws. But this right here is the perfect example of how to do so. All you're going to want to do is reel down to your lure to where you feel just enough tension to set the hook, and then gently but firmly flick your wrists. And once you know that you have a solid hook set in the fish, the last thing to do is to keep tension on your rod and line.
Yep. Notice how I barely even set the hook on this fish. Literally just reeled down to him and flicked my wrist up. It's a pretty good smallmouth, man. Like, I literally can't even move him. Imagine this is my PB. That'd be crazy, wouldn't it? Oh, man. This is a good smallie. Notice I'm barely even reeling. He's still pulling drag right now, though, to be fair. Oh, yeah, I can see him right here. Yeah, that's a good smallie. Oh, yeah, this bass got some shoulders on him. Literally, my job is just to keep the tension on this fish. Oh, wow. Oh, dude. That's a freaking pig, dude. Oh my God. That is a hog smallmouth. This, honest to God, might be my PB. Oh my God. This is a fatty. Tell me this is a 5-pounder, please. Oh, boys. That is a 4-pound smallmouth. I would not be surprised if it was. Look at that. That is perfect. You literally can't ask for a better hook set. Down in the mouth. I don't even know what to say about that, boys. We'll let you keep the crawdad for good measure. Holy crap, boys. I am shaking from this bass. Look at this fish. He smells amazing too. That is a gorgeous bass right there. That's what we like to see. All right, let's set up the lap hog picks. Go ahead and measure this bass really quick. Wow, this is a fat fish, man. This is a 19 incher. But that fish is just a football, man. That is sick. Don't lose your crawdad, buddy. Yeah, we don't want to make it. We don't want to make it all pain for you. We'll let you eat some of that crawl. I did not expect to catch one this size. I thought it was going to be like 2 and 3 pounders, maybe. Yeah, look at that. 311. That is almost a 4-pound smallmouth. Look at that, boys. That is a gorgeous smallmouth bass right there. Freaking pig of a smallie. This one gave us a great fight for today. Look at that. How gorgeous is that, man? Oh, look at that, boys. Just a beautiful smallmouth. All right, we've had this one out of the water for long enough. Let's go ahead and send him back. Just a gorgeous bass, man. Look at that. How cool is that? How about we get an underwater video on this guy?
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you guys made it this far, then be sure to hit the like button below and subscribe, it really does help out. And if you found this video helpful in any way whatsoever, and want to see more jig fishing videos just like this, then be sure to check out this video right here.